When he gave this tour to a previous Titan passenger, he admitted he broke rules when he built the sub.
It was General MacArthur said, "You're remembered for the rules you break." And, I've broken some rules to make this.
You are now within minutes of horror, and your only chances of survival is hitting that like button. With that being said, let's continue on with the video. It is now confirmed as of Thursday, June 22nd, the Titan submersible did indeed implode, instantly taking the lives of all 5 people on board. You really have to ask yourself, could this have been avoided? Could they have avoided catastrophic tragedy? And the answer is no. This was going to happen. It was just only a matter of when. When you have someone as headstrong as Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceansGate, one of the 5 people who perished on board the Titan, who believed he was the Elon Musk of the seas, something like this is not avoided. Stockton Rush had letters upon letters from CEOs of the submersible industry and also employees from OceansGate telling him, do not do this, you have to follow safety regulations or a catastrophe will occur. He ignored all those letters, he ignored those CEOs. Matter of fact, he also fired employees who got in the way of his innovations. So no, this tragedy could not have been avoided. It could have been avoided if Stockton Rush had stepped down, but he was so blinded by being the pioneer of innovations, safety did not matter. And that's not me saying that, and I did not find this information from a clickbait article online. This is from OceanGate's own website as to why they did not get third-party inspectors, because it would get in the way of innovation. And not only that, before they went into sea, he had these people sign off on 7 different death waivers, with one of the waivers saying this experimental vessel has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, emotional trauma, or death. My question is, how many death waivers do you have to sign before you realize this is not a good idea? Me personally, 0, because I'm not signing any death waiver, especially if the waiver states this is just an experiment. So the next question is, what caused this Titan submersible to implode? And I do believe it was anything and everything. But because I'm not a professional, I have to go to the professionals to see what actually happened. And there are 2 theories. The hatch with bolts used to seal the crew in from the outside suffered a failure that caused the hull to collapse. Or the pressure hull itself had a defect that fractured from the pressure and caused the same result. The Titan itself also had a very unusual design, with the industry stating disregarding standard ways of building these types of submersibles in pursuit of innovation does have a huge element of risk, and in this case that risk has been realized with the loss of human lives. Now there are those saying, how could this have happened if the Titan submersible has taken multiple trips to see the Titanic? Why would a catastrophic event happen now? Well, it's not outside the realm of possibility. The Titan was not receiving proper routine maintenance checks. Every time this vessel goes deep into the sea, the amount of pressure it's going to take is unreal, about 300 times stronger than the Earth's atmosphere. I am surprised any vehicle can sustain such force. So when you have a vessel like this, taking such force and pressure over time, it needs proper maintenance and safety checks by real professionals, not innovators. You have to realize the amount of pressure this submersible was taking would be the same as if there was multiple skyscrapers stacked on one another and then stacked on top of this vessel. This was basically a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. And we can't blame this all on Stockton Rush either. The other 4 people knew of the dangers going into this. They had to sign off, like I said, on 7 death waivers, with one of the waivers stating that this was just an experiment, that death can occur, which is really sad because one of the individuals on board, Shahzada Dawood, brought along his 19-year-old son, and from everything that we're hearing did not want to go on this trip. His aunt stated that he was very scared of going on this trip, but he was only doing so because it was around Father's Day and he wanted to please his father, who had an obsession with the Titanic.
The thought of a 19-year-old trapped on that was just next level. because, the other crew members were older, they were there of their own interest, they were there for their own reasons. But Suleiman was just there for a Father's Day bonding experience.
And not just the death waivers and the weird contracts, just quick Google searches can show that this company had a lot of issues and had a lot of legal battles due to its safety regulations. Now, just because these 4 people signed off on a death waiver does not bar the company from any responsibility. There is a fine line between an accident and being purposely neglectful. OceanGate, which owned the Titan submersible, did make a statement stating that these people were true explorers who shared a distinct spirit of adventure and a deep passion for exploring and protecting the world's oceans. Now, it is very possible that these people wanted some sort of adventure, but my question is, what exactly were they protecting the world's oceans from in a half-assed submersible, which possibly also took the lives of many fish and other sea creatures? Even though the submersible imploded, it imploded from the inside. Waves could have still gone out from the implosion. Shrapnel and other pieces from the Titan could have still flew out, affecting wildlife. On the topic of the implosion, you do have people that are saying that the 5 people on board may have felt something. No, they did not feel anything at all. Death was instantaneous. The implosion shredded everything inside less than a millisecond. Your pain sensors travel to your brain much slower than this implosion shredded everything. Now, with us finding the submersible wreckage, now knowing all 5 people on board did pass away instantaneously, knowing Stockton Rush's history when it comes with safety, this is pretty much an open shut case. Nothing more really needs to be said about the Titan submersible wreckage. But wait, there actually is more. Some people do believe now there is a big conspiracy theory going on when it comes to the submersible wreckage, that the United States Navy did have prior knowledge of the wreckage 3 days ago. Several right-wing commentators have accused Joe Biden of withholding news of the Titan submersible's demise to distract from recent developments with his son, Hunter, after it was revealed the United States Navy likely detected the vessel's implosion on Sunday. Rear Admiral John Malger announced on Thursday that one of the deep-sea robots drafted to look for the submersible had found a debris field consistent with a catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber near where communications had been lost. The Wall Street Journal is reporting the United States Navy detected the Titan implosion on Sunday, but Biden held the news until Thursday's whistleblower testimony on Hunter Biden. Commenters stated that the White House and the United States Navy did indeed know that the Titan imploded on Sunday, and that the whole thing was just a distraction operation. Now, I'll be the first to say, I don't trust any politician. I don't trust the left, I don't trust the right. They are all the wings of the same bird. And I do have to say, the timing definitely doesn't look good. You find the wreckage one day after the testimony against Hunter Biden. Which is pretty fascinating how the media can play with your mind. I didn't even know about this testimony. All I was seeing in the news was articles about this sunken submarine. There was all these fascinating stories on Stockton Rush, how he was against safety, and how the rescuers heard knocking every 30 minutes in intervals, making us believe there were still survivors out there. And now we're hearing yesterday, after they found the wreckage, that now the United States Navy on Sunday heard an implosion. We never heard of this until they found the wreckage. Us being told and focused about the lack of oxygen, how they only had 96 hours left. Then there were stories coming out about Hamish Harding's stepson, how he went to a concert and talking to an OnlyFans woman, to the point that you had celebrities bashing him on Twitter. This submersible story was really overtaking all news and media, and in the shadows of it all, there were other big stories happening that the government wanted us to take our attention off of, such as the Hunter Biden testimony. And not just that, this week, the government now passed a bill allowing lab-grown meat to be served. And I have to say, I'm ashamed of myself. Usually I'm one of the first ones to put 2 and 2 together and say this could be a cover-up, that something bigger is happening in the shadows while we're focused on this story. But I have been so fascinated by this story, I have even made multiple YouTube videos on this subject, so the media really got me good. Kudos to them. At the end of the day, it's still a very tragic story. 5 people did lose their lives. Yes, they knew the risk. Yes, Dr. Rush did lack common sense when it came to safety. But there was a teenager on board who was scared to board this vessel, and all he wanted to do was make his father happy and support his dad. So any way you look at it, it is a sad story. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.